It's a pleasure to have our Chief Health Innovation Strategist for the province of Ontario, Bill Charnetsky, help us out in designing some components of this program. And the conversation was sort of like, well, you can't just pour money into healthcare because I don't think we'll spend it efficiently. So how do we figure out how to get some incentives and alignments? And that really drove in terms of a lot of the dialogue around what we're talking about today. So I'd like to introduce Mr. Bill Charnetsky, Chief Health Innovation Strategist for the province of Ontario. Mr. Charnetsky.
Mr. Charnetsky? Wow. I feel like now I have to be more insightful than I would have been if I was just Bill. So thanks very much. It's been a great morning so far. You know, think about what the system could look like, right? You heard from Barry up front. You've heard about what's happening in Estonia. You all have your own personal experiences. You know, one of the metaphors I use in this job is the funnel, right? We don't really need, it's always nice to have more ideas and startups and people wanting to bring things to Ontario at the top of the funnel. That's great. The thing is, we have so much in that funnel already. The challenge in Ontario, as David alluded to, is to unplug the bottom of the funnel. So this job was created, as many of you know, and don't worry, you're not going to get subject to another one of my speeches about the Office of the Chief Health Innovation Strategist, but remember that the office was created in effect to reflect the government's vision to leverage our massive state investment, now $53 billion annually, up on a trek to 60, to not only deliver high-quality healthcare to Ontarians, but also to leverage it as an economic driver. So we've got a couple of reasons to be investing heavily in health innovation in this province. That economic development plank is one of them. Namely, you know, we're not going to win in low-cost industries in the way that we used to. We need to invest and win in the knowledge-based economy. The awesome thing we have going for us is this competitive advantage of a $53 billion single-payer end user in one of the fastest-growing job and wealth-creating industrial sectors on the globe. Half of Fortune 50 companies are in healthcare, and it's not just Pfizer and McKesson, right? It is, it's everybody, including Amazon and Google and Microsoft and Ford, trying to figure out how to an autonomous vehicle can be used for medical purposes. So in that environment, with this incredible competitive advantage of this type of urban environment and these types of places like the one you're sitting in right now, with the support and incredible world-leading expertise of institutions like the ones that Barry and David work at, with government support to create this kind of office, there's no reason why the next big global leading medical device company couldn't come out of Ontario. That's the first plank. Here's the second plank of this thing. I sort of apologize about saying this in my early days. I don't really apologize anymore because you know it better than I do. The system's not sustainable in the way it's currently constructed unless we do a better job investing not just in people and in the physical plant, whatever that might be, but also in technology. That is the way to get optimal solutions, optimal outcomes in 21st century running any kind of enterprise, whether it's a not-for-profit, an absolute for-profit, or a social enterprise like the Ontario healthcare system is. And you put those two things together, and there's not just importance, but urgency to this activity. So that's what we're here to do. And it's been amazing fun. We're at 2 years plus in this role. We really are embarking on a new way of doing things in Ontario when it comes to the adoption and diffusion of innovation in our health system. There's an overarching framework that's being created which ensures that we have the health service providers being the demand drivers, setting the priorities for the kinds of things that we're looking for, the solutions that we need. We're getting better. You're going to hear a little about this today. We're getting better at cooperating with industry to create those solutions for the best patient outcomes possible. Using modern procurement techniques, value-based procurement in support of value-based care, as Barry was talking about, as well as things like outcomes-based procurement. We are increasingly encouraging risk sharing and demand sharing, not just in biopharmaceuticals, but going forward in devices. And all of this focusing on scaling up companies and building a capability across the system to be better at this, building a muscle memory in Ontario's health system to do this better and faster, with the idea that we need to invest to win in health innovation if we are going to be successful both economically and delivering health care to our citizenry. So this is pretty exciting stuff. That's my introduction. Today I get to moderate, so others are going to be wise and helpful while I stand here and cheer them on. You've got three esteemed folks in front of you. I don't do the long introductions, although it's interesting. I always do that, and I say something like it's in front of you, so I'm not going to belabor the point, except it's actually not in front of you, unless you've been to the website. So just quickly, we have Peter Pisters, who is currently President and CEO of UHN. As he tells me, this is his last week in a suit in this role, because he's about to become president of the UTMD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston. Gail Garland, sitting beside Peter, is the CEO of OBIO. I think most of you know that's the Ontario Bioscience Innovation Organization. I have to look that up. It's been a long time since I've referred to it as anything other than OBIO. And if you don't know, OBIO is a not-for-profit, membership-based organization championing the development of an integrated health innovation economy. So very much in support of all the things that we're doing, and a great ally. And on Gail's left is Frederica Scarth, speaking of a great ally, a colleague of mine at the Ministry of Health. Her title is Director, HQO Liaison and Program Development in the Health System Quality and Funding Division. So Frederica and her colleagues and our team have done a lot of work together, a lot of amazing work together, and talking and speaking of champions and allies and the things that we're trying to do on the inside this time, Frederica's front and center on that front. So what we're going to do is have each of our three speakers give you the kind of 5 to 7 minutes introduction to really put in perspective why they're here, what their interest is, and set the conversation get the conversation going. And then we'll have a bit of a discussion amongst ourselves and have time at the end for questions. And we will leave time at the end for questions. Someone, I guess, will give me, oh, there we go. All right. So I think it'll be a great discussion. Think about your questions. Don't be shy. It's a good group. So do you want to go first? Ah, okay. So Gail's going to go first. There we are.
Good morning. So at the break, I was networking and saying hello to a number of my good friends, and I've left my iPhone with somebody. So a free year of OBIO membership if you can find and return my iPhone to me. Furhan, it's for you. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to kick off this panel. For those of you who don't know OBIO, and thank you for the kind introduction, Bill, here's a snapshot of OBIO's activities year to date. These metrics reflect our connectivity and engagement with industry and its stakeholders along the strategic continuum of building companies, building industry, and building the environment. And are we supposed to have a clicker?
Yeah.
And that's it? Perfect. What I am here to talk with you about today is OBIO's Tackling the Anchor Company Challenge Summit as part of today's broader discussion on the future of healthcare innovation in Ontario. So you have to hold this up somewhere or point it there. So like much else at OBIO, the impetus for the summit was the realization by a group of industry executives, Furhan Bulka, who found my iPhone, was actually one of them, who saw the futility of continuing to sing into the wind. So what does that mean? These executives had realized that despite years of effort, we had little to show for it in the development of anchor companies. It was time to write a new song. That's why OBIO convened the Tackling the Anchor Company Challenge Summit in January of this year. The subsequent report is a call to action to work together to build and anchor leading health science companies in Ontario. You will recognize some of these people. It was the synergy of bringing this cross-section of thought leaders together to address the anchor company challenge that led to the development of a set of actionable recommendations. The emergent theme of these recommendations is the importance of building an integrated, innovation-based healthcare economy in Ontario as a precursor to attracting capital and building anchor health science companies. Without that, we may as well wait for the cows to come home. So we started talking to people to get their feedback. And what has been amazing has been how everyone, through their own lens, is able to articulate the benefit of commercializing technologies developed here. From people in the healthcare system describing how expertise in health technology assessment, for example, will ensure that the health system achieves maximal value for innovation spending, to industry scaling and selling their technologies here as part of a build it here, take it global strategy, to improving patient outcomes and converting Ontario's healthcare system from an economic drag into an economic driver. The report recommendation that creates the conditions for all of these wins is recommendation number 3, which calls for the establishment of a network of early adopter hospital and health service providers as the mechanism for the delivery of an innovation-based integrated healthcare economy in Ontario. When we talk to people about the range of innovation initiatives already underway, we got feedback about the lack of connectivity between them. And we saw this as an opportunity to build collaborations around an early adopter health system model that will amplify everyone's efforts. Building the model engages a steering committee of CEOs from Ontario healthcare institutions and companies, together with key adherent organizations, around the vision to create a global competitive advantage for Ontario as an innovation-friendly environment which effectively marries the economic benefits from a strong health science industry with efficiencies in healthcare delivery and improved patient outcomes. To be clear, nothing in the model duplicates initiatives already underway. Quite the contrary. An early adoption health system model accelerates engagement with innovation brokers and enhances diffusion, leverages provincial programs and augments impact, amplifies and expands on successful institutional initiatives, and has a multiplier effect, and integrates innovation healthcare networks, creating opportunities for expansion and growth. The sharing of best practices and ideas has already started with the launch of the steering committee on September the 25th. The wins accrue to industry, the healthcare system, and Ontario. Establishing an early adopter health system network creates commercialization pull for Ontario's research and development, anchors the domestic health sciences economy, serves as the launch pad for anchor company technologies developed, vetted, and adopted here, and provides patients access to the latest innovative health technologies and solutions. And that's just a partial list. Thank you.